Renee,
Yep,
on you.
we're up. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Convo YouTube channel. I'm the manager of the Convo, Renee Seiler, and I am hoping that you really enjoyed that episode of Convo Close Up. Convo Close Up are these special short films that we do, and had an amazing chatting with Dr. Cherdon Reynolds. So here's the deal. I'm so excited because now, if you, first of all, if you guys are in the chat, please log in, say hi. But I would like to bring on Dr. Cherdon Reynolds for our live chat. Come on in, Cherdon.
Hello, 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 gorgeous.
Cherdon, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I am good. I'm so happy that you decided to join us today. Again, for folks in the chat, please, we're going to spend about 15 or 20 minutes with Cherdon. So if you have questions, please just leave them in the chat and she'll answer them for you. First of all, I have to say you are looking marvelous. I love your hair.
Thank you. Listen, you too. Okay, welcome to the Lock family.
Right?
Last time I seen you, you were talking about starting your Lock journey,
I
and
sure
it
was.
looks phenomenal on you.
Thank you. You know what? We when we get together, we got to talk about style and look and all that stuff before we get into the business. So, okay, now we
Right?
can talk about it. Sure, Don. I just am curious about what because you've really put your heart and soul into this for the last several years. What is it like when you are able to look at kind of the longitudinal element and aspect of your journey, like in a video or a form like that? What does that do to you?
Oh God, it just really makes my heart smile because I think as entrepreneurs, often we're just like in the rat race of it, and we really don't take a moment to pay attention to like what the journey has been and the things that we have overcome, and really sitting in and celebrating our wins and preparing for what's to come until opportunities like this present themselves, when you get to just really sit down and have someone ask you the questions so that you have to go back and recap and relive. And it's
Mhm.
just amazing because it allows you to sit in your win of the fact that you're here today, right? So
Mhm.
even just watching it again now, it's like, wow, like to see where I'm at even now from when we filmed is just phenomenal. And I love that you all are creating opportunities for entrepreneurs to sit in their wins and
Mhm.
truly see their journey.
You said several things in your piece that I wanted to further explore. One of the things you said was you really wanted that you were called to create a culture for Black women who could look as good as they are. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I came out of corporate America, in particular corporate retail, and the last company that I worked for. What I realized is that they were really approaching on becoming a billion-dollar brand at the time. It had never ran a commercial, right? But
Mm.
they were always out and about. If there was events that aligned with their target audience, they were setting up. They were giving away free swag. They were going to potential partners and saying, hey, like, I'll give you guys these things to give away to your community. And so they were constantly being seen in spaces outside of your traditional paid marketing. They made sure that they were seen and seen constantly through the power of promotional products and material based marketing. And as I was out and about networking and meeting new people, I would come across some of the most amazing Black women in business that were doing things that I know could change the world. But if it wasn't for the fact that I was a chatty Cathy and asking a bunch of questions, I would have never known. And so that set with me like, no, I want people to know who you are. And I want you to look as good as you are. I want there to be multiple ways for people to experience you outside of a business card, right? That they may not even have met you personally, but they walk into an office of somebody they trust and they see this tumbler with your logo on it. And so I wanted to magnify that. I always say I wanted to just ensure that we could play in the sandbox with the big boys and still maintain our unique appeal. And that's the reality of it is that major corporations literally spend millions of dollars on promotional marketing materials because they know the power of that. And so I just felt like I had experienced that and understood that and been gifted the language of it through my work experience so that I can be that for women in my community.
You talked about being let go from that company. There were a couple of things that stuck out to me about when you were working at that company. Number one, you were telling yourself, this is funding my dream.
Yeah.
When in reality, it turns out it actually wasn't. You were spending and giving them the best of you.
Yeah.
And then also just the idea of being fired. I've been fired from a high profile job before. Did any of that shake you?
I think as I was going through it, I don't want to say it shook me. I think it motivated me. I'm one of those people that when you tell me I can't or I'm not worthy or doubt me in any way, it's like the fuel that I need to keep pushing. So as I said in that, like I was really grateful that that happened. And I think ultimately it made space for me and they were
Mhm.
blocking me from living out what I needed to. But most importantly, which is the whole time I was there, everything I was doing was to elevate other minorities in that space because that company would only keep one Black person in leadership. And so I was like, hey, how do I keep expanding and creating
Mhm.
opportunities for us? Even when I knew that I wouldn't be there forever, but I was like, while I'm here, let me open doors. And so the win for me is that even though I was no longer there, I later started finding that so many people were getting promoted and given higher positions, because they didn't want to look like what I was saying was true. And so the fact that that still opened doors in
Right.
corporate America, which was my goal there, I really felt like I achieved my goal and it was safe for me to move on because
Mhm.
the things that I wanted to happen happened. And so I
Mhm.
needed to go on the other side and do what my next mission was in life.
So when I mean, I had like a visceral reaction when you said that there were ethics complaints and that people were saying certain things. And I find that being a Black woman in corporate America, that's kind of the price of entry almost. And so I applaud you for saying, you know what, this is crazy. I'm getting out of this, and just going on and doing your own thing. But so you didn't feel like that scarred you or anything like that. You were like, let me get gone.
No, I really, I say often when I tell my story is that when that happened,
Yeah.
I went to my husband and I said, hey, if you can just give me 9 months to figure it out. And I clearly viewed it as birthing a baby. I don't know where I got 9 months from. And then I went and I always say my first business coach was God. I sat and I
Mm.
prayed about it and I just had no fear that it wouldn't work, and I was also confident that my ability to get a job. I've never not had a job since I was like 11, so I didn't have any fear that I couldn't figure out another way to get income, but I didn't want to fear living a life of wondering what if I would
Oof.
had gave it a
Oof.
chance. So no, I really was it tough, yes, but it also just fueled me. Like I would always tell myself, like, man, this is really hard, but this is gonna make it for an amazing chapter in my
Yep.
book of life, right? When I get
Yep.
to tell these stories of I made it through this and I made it through that, and even sharing on platforms like this, it allows you to go back and revisit the things that you've overcome. And even in most recent, I said to someone more recently that you have to be careful about what you're complaining about, because your struggles is somebody else's prayers, right? And
Wow.
so, as challenging as it is to have been let go from a job and had never been terminated before, and to have to deal with, the legalities of it and the legal piece of in the EOC, and all of that was new to me.
Mm, mm,
Somebody else was praying that they had a partner like I did, a
yeah.
husband that would support their dreams. Somebody else was praying that they still had a roof over their head and they knew how they were going to feed their children. So somebody else was praying for my problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just learned to just appreciate every challenge that came thereafter.
You brought up your husband. First of all, I love what you said about the fact that you are a wife and a mother, and how that is just a portion of who you are. I feel like that is so important. I wrote an entire book about this because I feel like
Mm.
women need to understand that, you know what, you were a full, complete person before all these people came crashing into your life. And I love that you are still hanging on to that. Talk to me a little bit about that and why it's important.
Yeah, I was always raised to celebrate who I am as an individual, and not define myself by anybody else's viewpoint on me. And so shout out to my mom for just embedding that in me at such a young age. And although I love my children, I love my husband, that was not like life's goal. I wasn't the little girl who had dreams of this beautiful wedding and, two kids and a dog and a white picket fence. That wasn't me. I have always wanted to be out in the world, empowering others, uplifting and celebrating people. And that's what I want to be known for. And so when I became a wife and a mom, God blessed me with a partner who understood my assignment in this world and understood me enough to love me through my assignment. And then once I became a mom, and particularly a mom to a young lady, it was even more important to me that she understood that
Mm,
her life's purpose is not to be somebody's wife or mom, it's to be her
wow.
unapologetically. And I wanted my
Yes.
son to also, if he chose to grow up and start a family and have a wife, that he needs to celebrate her and allow her to live out his dreams, and she should do the same for him. And so I just want to live by example. And I
Yeah.
have no desire to, take on these titles that I hold for other people and wear them as capes, because that is how they see me, but it's not who I am to the world.
Oof, oof. I love that so much. Just lastly, I want to talk to you about community. You mentioned it in your piece, and we know that Black Dot. We're familiar with Black Dot because we filmed our Black Business Icons season 2 at Black Dot and with Kazemde. And um, how critical and important was having not just him but the community that you're building and the TSP community? Like, what did that mean to you as you were going out on your own?
Oh my God, it means everything to me. The reality of it is that although we're all individuals, we absolutely need community. It's heartbreaking that there's this space and time where people were encouraged to celebrate being self-made,
Mm,
and like glorifying not having support of other people. I knew early that I couldn't do this by myself. And again, it may be because I come from an activist family. And so I watched my mother, my grandmother, and my, other family members have the ability to galvanize community to get what it is that they needed. And so I knew if I was going to build something that was going to create generational wealth and create space and opportunity for my community, I needed my community to do it. So having the Black Dot was amazing for them to come in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna help you." And you want to know what's so cool about that is that because before he got that store, he was in Green Love Kitchen, which is a
yeah,
restaurant right next door, and they
right.
let him set up a small bookshop inside
Mhm.
their restaurant. He was able to grow from that and then get his own space. And so he paid it forward. Right. And so even now to this day, they're one of our pickup partners. Although we have a location now, we still have them as a pickup partner because it's a great way for our customers to experience them. And we created a grant program so that we can then give back to other small
Oh,
businesses. And that's what it takes. And then when
yeah.
I found TSP, it was like I had never seen so much Black excellence in one space, right? Like it was mind blowing. And it's exactly what you need. You need to be in rooms that stretch your mind, that
Mm.
stretch what you believe is possible, right? And understanding that being 6 or 7 figures or even 8 figures, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The goal is to be able to pay 6 figure salaries to
Mm.
other people, right? And so I'm just so grateful that because I built this with the heart of the community, that God continued to place me around the community that I needed to continue to grow and excel this dream. And it has just been such an honor. Like I said before, it's easy to kind of get caught up in wallowing in your struggles, but just remembering that people are praying for your problems. And
Mm.
if the greatest problem that you have is that, there's a few people who have not supported you, um, that's what's little bit to a giant, right? Because there's literally a community of what, over 48,000,
Yep.
nearly 50,000 Black businesses that are committed to working together, growing together, and sharing with one another. And that's bigger than any one or two friends that didn't show up for you, right? Like
Mhm.
friends, team new community, team build your village, and make a
Wow.
difference and change the world.
Oh, sure, Dawn. Thank you so much. First of all, where can people find you if they want more information?
Yeah, sure. They can follow us on social media. We are She Prints It on Instagram, Facebook, and all platforms. Feel free to visit sheprintsit.com if you're looking to get any custom promotional products, marketing material, whether it's large format printing like trade show setups or small needs like business cards and flyers and everything in between.
Mm.
We're based here in Stockbridge, Georgia, but we serve people all over the U.S. and abroad. We have clients in the U.K., in so many
Okay.
places. So we are here to serve you. You can call us toll free at 844-777-5900. You can shoot us an email, but know however you connect with us, you will have a professional experience with a friend because we're here to see you win.
Sure, Dawn. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to sit and chat with us. Thank you for your candor. Thank you for what you're doing. Really just appreciate taking the time to talk with you this afternoon. And good luck in 2025. We will definitely be in touch. Sure, Dawn, thank you. And for those of you watching, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.